Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Divers Ready, coming to you this week from the scuba diving paradise of Dumaguete in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Divers Ready. As always, so great to see all of your smiling faces. So following on from our group trip to Puerto Galera, just Karina and myself and a few others in our group transferred down to the Atlantis resort in Dumaguete. So we went from Atlantis Puerto Galera down to Atlantis Dumaguete, which is about an hour south of Puerto Galera on a completely different island, different region of the Philippines. This part of the world is distinctly known for its fantastic muck diving, all the little critters you can find out in the sand. So I thought, well, to celebrate our time here at Atlantis Dumaguete, what better way than for me to give you my 5 top tips for the beginner muck diver. First off, let's talk about what muck diving actually is. Well, I'm not really a big fan of the term because I actually have someone with us on the group here who's kind of turned off by the idea of muck diving, like muck, like poo, like I don't want to dive in poo water. No, actually no. Muck diving is basically diving in a silt or sand patch, looking for little critters that live in that ecosystem. And what you have here in Dumaguete that makes it so ideal is rich volcanic sand mixed with a lot of detritus, a lot of broken down leaf and mulch and so on, making a very nutrient-rich substrate. So just over there on the ocean, you can hear on the side, is a sloping sandy bed that gently cascades down all the way out into the channel that is completely teeming with life. It just is not as bright and colourful as, for example, a coral reef. But the more you look, the more you see. I hope you enjoyed that little montage. Now, I am relatively new to muck diving. I've done some before in Indonesia. This was definitely my first time of doing sort of 5 or 6 days straight, apart from our trip over to Apo Island, which was absolutely phenomenal, by the way, and will definitely be featured in an upcoming episode on our iconic dive site series. But for now, let me just say that Dumaguete and macro has helped me hone my skills. I wouldn't say perfected, but definitely I've taken a big jump and improved in my macro photo and videography. You tell me, you saw the footage. So I feel like I can give you a beginner's guide to muck diving for people who haven't done it before or are just about to head out on their first ever trip. So starting with number one, the most important thing, absolutely critical, get a guide. We were lucky enough to have Warpy as our guide. He was absolutely phenomenal. The locals here in the Philippines, in Dumaguete, at Atlantis in particular, have the eagle eyes. This is their backyard, so they notice when something is out of place or a rock is turned up funny, and then they go looking and bam, there's an octopus, there's a cuttlefish, there's a leafy scorpion fish, there's this, that and the other, frogfish. They're finding all these little critters that you would just swim over, completely ignorant. And I know, because I did that. I was swimming around, didn't see anything, and they call me back, hey, come back and look at this, you just swam over the top of it. Yeah, okay, cool. So absolutely you need to go with a guide, and you want to form a relationship with that guide, not like that, no, don't, come on. And you need to buddy up with your guide, and you need to tell the guide what you want to see. If there's particular animals, critters on your hit list of things that you want to see, let them know that, and they'll pick dive sites where those animals are prevalent, and that will help you in having a successful critter hunting mission. My second top tip is be patient. Muck diving requires a lot of patience. You're looking for itty bitty tiny little critters in a whole field of black lava sand. So you've really got to take your time, go slowly, move slowly, and train your eyes to pick out the little tiny details that otherwise you would miss. But your first couple of times, it takes you a while to get your eyes trained and get yourself accustomed to looking for this little stuff out there. So yeah, be patient with yourself and you will be rewarded. So number 3 is make sure you've got your macro set up. Now, if you have a camera that has a macro mode, obviously that's what you're going to want to put it in. If you are lucky enough to have a camera with interchangeable lenses, consider investing in a specific macro lens and the port for the housing that goes along with that lens. I can't imagine getting the footage that you just saw or any of the still photos that I've been taking without the setup that I had. So again, a huge thank to Backscatter, as always, for setting me on my path. You know, if you've been watching this channel, that macro photography has been a journey of mine this year, and it's been baby steps and there's been tears and curse words, but hopefully I've taken a step forward with this trip. You tell me, that's what the comment section is for. But I couldn't have done it without the right tools for the job. So macro lens, macro port, and then specific lighting. So I was using the Backscatter 4300, their macro wide light, video light, absolutely fantastic. Onto that I would mount a Backscatter optical snoot, and then I have the aperture cards, I wouldn't call them a filter, but the cards that change the shape of the light, so you can get down to just a little pinhead of light on the very, very smallest of nudibranchs. And then I also have the color filters, so you can play around with the light and add some color and add some creativity to a few of those shots. So all of those products I will of course link in the description of this video below. Highly recommended if you want to get serious into your macro, and they are affiliate links, so purchases made through those links may earn me a small commission at no additional cost to you, and thanks for supporting our channel. So yeah, definitely macro setup. Now, if you are going to do video and you want to get a close look at these critters, number 4, buoyancy control, absolutely essential. All right, you need to be able to hover millimeters or inches above the sandy siltiness, because if you don't have buoyancy control, if you're flapping with your hands or paddle kicking with your feet, flutter kicking with your feet, you're going to stir up the silt and you're going to blow away whatever it is everyone else is trying to look at, and you're going to be that guy, and nobody wants to be that guy. So make sure you've got good buoyancy control and that you can hold a hover. Make sure your knees are bent and that your fins are up out of the silt, so that once you finish taking your photos or videos or just observing and enjoying the animal, you can move away and leave the scene preserved for whoever's coming after you to see the same thing. And then point number 5 is don't be a hog. Yes, I'm learning macro and it takes me a while to get my settings dialed in and my focus on point and all this stuff, but I was also very cautious of other people in the group. I generally like to go last in our group, so I'd let the non-photographers or the other photographers come in, take their shots, and I just patiently wait back. It's probably an inanimate object, or it's not moving too fast. It's macro. So if it's a seahorse, it's right there. If it's a cuttlefish, sure, it's going to scoot a little bit. If it's a nudibranch, it's crawling along. I will have my turn. So wait your turn. If it is your turn, be cautious of other people around and make sure that you share these critters. I had a negative experience I think I told you about with Matthias, about one guy who hogged mandarin fish for the entire dive and wouldn't let anyone else go near him or get in his light, and then the dive was over and I never got to see it or get any video of it. So never be that person. I was very cautious to not be that person on this trip and make sure that I was getting my big rig out the way and that everyone had a chance to enjoy all the critters. I want to say a great big thank you to Atlantis Dumaguete for hosting us in such style. In particular, Warby, our guide here on this journey, he did a fantastic job looking after Karina and myself. I of course want to say thank you to Karina for all the behind the scenes footage that you saw was shot by her on a GoPro, and it's just been a fantastic, relaxing end to our Philippines adventure. We had the hectic activity in Puerto Galera with our group trip and the presentations, and then we were able to come to Dumaguete and do a whole bunch of lovely dives and just chill out. So definitely two different experiences, and we were hosted in such style by Atlantis. Everyone that we met at Atlantis has such a pleasing personality. They really want to know you by name, they welcome you, they ask where you're from, and everyone's really into helping you guys have the best possible experience. So highly recommended here, from the housekeeping staff that keep the rooms looking absolutely immaculate, to all the food and beverage staff, of course the amazing dive teams. And I also want to single out as well the amazing work that the groundskeepers do. Often overlooked at a resort, but these resorts are manicured to perfection while still maintaining that jungle feel. So I want to shout out to all the gardeners as well, because they do an awesome job. So yeah, now it's time to make the long journey back to Miami, back to Ziggy and Bonham, who I'm sure are very upset with us for leaving for so long. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments if you've got any plans to go muck diving, and if so, what tips did I forget? Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name's James. This was your video for this week from Divers Ready. Dive safe, dive often.